Plenty of Canadians inside the stadium supporting their team here today. Dean Saunders, the former Welsh striker, is alongside me. We've already seen today Costa Rica, who conceded 7 in their first game, beat a Japan side who overcame Germany before slumping today. And of course, in this group, Belgium, outplayed at times by Morocco, deservedly losing by 2-0. What has been the secret, do you believe, to all the upsets we've seen so far in the World Cup?
Well, I've said this earlier. I mean, I've been involved in the national squad, so I know what the preparation requires to get yourself ready for international football. And there's lots and lots of teams who are undercooked coming into this tournament. I mean, why do you think you have pre-season and get your team ready? Why do you have friendlies to get your team in a rhythm? And you get to see players that are at different states of fitness levels when you don't see them for 3 months. So teams have come into this tournament. There's going to be loads of shocks. There's going to be teams knocked out before they're ready to play. Undercooked, Nige.
And also hard work, and we've seen teams run off other sides off their feet so far, and if you don't put that work in, you've got no chance.
No, well, that's in any game of football. That the least you expect is 100% effort. But as a manager, I feel sorry for some of the managers, because you pick the team on what your brain's telling you to do and what you've seen. But some of the players are nowhere near the fitness levels that you expect them to be. But it's too late, you're out. So you're going to get some big countries getting knocked out of this tournament. There'll be a few more as well.
Before we get underway here, let's go to the FA Cup games, which are just being completed. Is there a shock at the Memorial Stadium? Here's Ian Abrahams.
Biggest of round 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Bournemouth 2, both goals in the first half. A shot from George Broadbent, a header from David Stevens, and the Wood, who went to round 5 last year, are in the hat for round 3 this. It finished here, Bristol Rovers 0, Bournemouth 2.
And to the Pirelli Stadium now, and Jeff Peters.
It's finished Burton 6, Chippenham 1, not to be for the Gloucestershire non-leagues after a great run to the second round, the furthest they've ever come. Burton of League One proving too strong. Deji Oshilaja and sub Sam Winnell both scored a brace. Johnny Smith and Bobby Camwa got the others. Harry Parsons gave Chippenham hope at 3-1, but they just didn't have enough. Burton 6, Chippenham 1.
And Newport County have just taken the lead against Derby County in their tie. Priestley Farquharson with the goal just before half-time. They will be underway at 5 o'clock at Portman Road between Ipswich and Buxton, another non-league side who've enjoyed a great run so far. But here in the World Cup, Croatia are about to get this game underway in Group F. Already, Belgium have been humbled by Morocco in this group. Canada outplayed them at times in their first game, but still lost. Croatia endured a stalemate with Morocco, and they will believe they need to win this game here today to maintain any sort of challenge following their trip all the way to the final 4 years ago. We are off and underway here on TalkSport. Croatia in their famous red and white checkerboard shirts, defending the goal away to our left in the first half. Canada in their chain strip this evening of all black. 7 o'clock local time here in Doha. The third game of 4 today, don't forget, coming up at 7 o'clock. A massive game UK time between Spain and Germany. Germany helped out by Costa Rica of all people earlier on today, beating Japan, but Germany also need a victory themselves today to resurrect their campaign as Canada try and build with Buchanan on the far side, but it's all the way back to the defensive 3, and it's Johnston on the edge of the area, and he has support, but it's Milan Borjan who plays for Crvena Zvezda in Serbia. So an interesting day for him here up against Croatia as Buchanan brings it forward now for Canada. High cross into the penalty, a brilliant header and a brilliant goal. Alphonso Davies with Canada's first ever in the World Cup. It had to be him, and what a moment for Canada. They are off the mark with a splendid goal, and on a day of shocks, Canada lead Croatia by 1-0 in the opening minute.
Unbelievable. 21 shots, no goals, and how long does it take them? A minute to create a chance, and they buried it. And what a great goal it was. Started at the back, and it ends up with, I think Lovren has let Larin come off him too too easily. Let him turn. He's knocked it out wide. And I'm watching Alphonso Davies creeping into the box. What a cross from Buchanan, and he's headed it. It's a brilliant header. He's headed it perfectly down near the keeper's legs. No chance. Too much pace on it. What a great goal.
Well,
great
he missed a penalty in the game against Belgium, but no mistake there. Thundering in the header. Dominik Livakovic had no chance at all. It was fairly close to him, but it was beaten by the pace. And Canada have their first ever World Cup goal. Their fans are in tears. And this group is almost on its head. At the moment, the two teams at the top are Morocco and Canada, with Belgium and Croatia making up the numbers. Canada coming forward again now with Davies on this near side. He's known for his pace, but that was a real centre-forwards header, wasn't it?
Well, he got in his stride, and I'm looking at Jovanovic there. He's trying to track him, but he's got in his stride. He's picked the flight of the ball up perfectly, and I bet he's got above the crossbar when he's headed it. You know, he's got so high off the ground, and it's a great header. I mean, he's the left wing back, getting in the 6-yard box. Brilliant. First minute.
Canada lead by a 1-0, and Croatia have an early problem to solve here. Alphonso Davies ending the Canadians' long wait for a World Cup goal as Larrea plays it forward. And of course they have Davies' lightning pace to exploit down the left-hand side as well. And we saw an ageing Belgian team really creak during their 2-0 loss against Morocco earlier on today. And this Croatian side, which contains so many of the players who reached the final 4 years ago, but they've got a number of 30-somethings who now must come from behind here inside the Khalifa Stadium in Doha. And the Canadians with a free kick inside the centre circle. Our referee, by the way, is from Uruguay, Andreas Matonte Cabrera. And Croatia need to try and reset here because they were caught out by the crossing from Buchanan, and now on this near side it is run out of play by Kamal Miller, and then it's picked up by Larrea to help him out, and Larrea has done well to obey the challenge of Modric, and he's picked his way down the touchline and then just runs the ball out of play, and it will be a throw in to Croatia. But Zlatko Dalic, their coach, already showing the pressure of the early goal and the early concession. Juranovic will take the throw in for them on this near side, and it's all the way back towards Dejan Lovren, and he in turn spotted that Alphonso Davies was very close to him, and he goes all the way back towards Dominik Livakovic. Lovren again now. His ball forward is deflected off the head of Davies, and Canada will gather with Buchanan inside the centre circle, but it's quickly won back. Infield again by Kovacic. So many familiar names in this Croatian team, so many names who have helped to dominate European football with various clubs over the years, but the clock is ticking for them. And here on TalkSport in the early stages, they trail Canada by a 0-0. 6 minutes played, and Croatia face the prospect of being bottom of this group at the end of the day, but a long way to go in this game. And they try and come forward again on this near side, but just the presence of Davies is always forcing them back, because they just know if they give the ball away on this near side in this area, his pace could do real damage.
Well, the goal comes from no legs. If you want to be really critical from a Croatian point of view, it's a terrible goal to concede. Canada are building up play from the back, a hope for a ball at the middle, and the two centre-backs are 10 yards too deep.
Now Kramaric on this near side, twisting and turning away from the challenge of Larrea, and the cross in is almost fumbled by Bojan. He may have actually had to use the crossbar there for some help as it popped up in the air before the Crvena Zvezda goalkeeper was eventually able to gather.
Kramaric, he just does some brilliant little Cruyff turns, gets the byline. Keeper's nearly made a meal of that one, but they've reacted well, Croatia.
And at 68 seconds, that header from Alphonso Davies, the quickest goal of the World Cup so far, and Croatia also conceded the quickest goal of the previous World Cup inside the opening minute against Denmark. And they're a goal down here as Richie Larea brings it forward for Canada. Almost slips it into the path of Carl Larin, but it's gathered by Juranovic. But at the moment, Croatia have really been rocked by that early goal. 7 minutes played here on TalkSport. A reminder, also in Group F today, Belgium beaten by 2 late goals from Morocco, but it was a deserved victory. And Morocco are currently on top of this group. They have 4 points. Belgium have 3. Canada have currently joined them on 3 points, with Croatia currently bottom of the table with only a single point. And Canada are coming forward again now with Jonathan David of Lille on the far side. He's got support from Buchanan, and Buchanan spins away from the initial challenge, and he's got pace to burn down the right, but this time he's held up by Borna Sosa, and Modric will try and bring the ball away, but the Canadians are snapping into the challenges all over the field here. Kovacic will try and change the point of their attack by sweeping it wide to Kramaric on this near side, the right. A high diagonal ball from him to the left, but it's headed away at the far post by Alistair Johnston. And now Buchanan with a lovely turn to scoot over the halfway line, and he shrugged off Modric. Larin makes the run down the centre. He's run into an offside position, so needs to retreat. But Canada have Hutchinson making tracks towards the edge of the penalty area. He loses out though to Kovacic, and Croatia will bring the ball away. And Canada's pace all over the field is causing real problems here.
Yeah, Buchanan's looks lively on the right there. He's just skipped by a challenge, and Larin's, if he puts the same ball in again, it was the exact same goal.
Davies forward towards Larin. He's onside, tries to poke the ball beyond Kramaric, but it's a crucial challenge inside the penalty area. The flag was eventually raised for offside, but once again Croatia were wide open. It was Gvardiol who came across to make the challenge on Larin, who just stepped forward too soon. But that high line of Croatia looks to be a very, very dicey one at the moment.
It's good defending though, Nigel, as well. You know, they've held their line, they've not, kept their nerve, and Larin's stepped 2 yards offside. But, going back to the goal again, the 2 centre-backs, how can you let a straight ball punted up the pitch? There's 2 of you marking Larin, one of you's got to get tight with him, and the other one's got to drop off.
Brozovic wide to the far side, and Perisic of Tottenham, a couple of step overs from him, but the cross is too deep. It floats wide to the Croatian right, where it's gathered by Modric, who clips it in field. Kramaric, the former Leicester striker, heads it into the space where he was looking for Modric to make the move towards the penalty area, and the ball bobbles behind, and it will be a goal kick. And John Herdman, the English-born coach of Canada, already very, very animated on the edge of his technical area. We're watching replays of the goal once again. It was a prodigious leap from Alphonso Davies, and the perfect downward header. It actually went into the centre of the goal, but Livakovic had no chance at all.
He reminds me of, with the way he moves and the way he gets in the ball, he reminds me of Thierry Henry a little bit. That he's that 6'2", lightning quick skill, scores all types of goals. I think that's his 11th, at international level. For a country, that's not winning a lot of games.
Well, they won plenty during the World Cup qualification, but their record against European sides is dismal. 13 without a win since a victory over Belarus back in 2011, but they're winning this game against Croatia. But here is Perisic, who looks to fizz in a ball from the far side, the Croatian left, but it's blocked at the near post by Johnston, and Croatia have the game's first corner with 11 minutes played here on TalkSport, but Canada leading by 1-0.
That's the dilemma the Canadian coach has got. 3 Croatian players in the centre of the pitch, 2 Canadians. What does he do? That'll be his dilemma all afternoon. Does he drop Buchanan in there, tell him to tuck in? Does he drop Larin back there?
Well, Larin is an out-and-out striker, so I think he's been brought in to try and lead the line here as the corner is played short by Modric. He gets it back from Kramaric, twisting and turning. A low cross into the near post is headed away by Ustakio and then delivered back in towards the 6-yard area by Modric. Canada will try and clear, but there's a challenge on Alphonso Davies, who was looking for the free kick, but nothing was given. Then Ustakio with a sliced clearance on the far side. He claims the ball has gone out for a throw-in, but it's a very tight call for the officials, and a corner kick has been given to Croatia. They're second, but they trail by 1-0 here on TalkSport with 12 minutes played. In fact, a throw-in has been given in the end, and Ivan Perisic, who was very unhappy about John Herdman's pre-match comments about what his team may do to Croatia, and his long throw into the penalty area floats towards the 6-yard box, headed away by Vittoria and eventually headed away by Alphonso Davies, who tries to flick it further forward towards Jonathan David, and it's high up towards the halfway line, but Larin this time knew he wasn't going to make that. Leaves it to Gvardiol, and Croatia will clear long and high downfield once again. Lovren with a good ball. Perisic will try and beat his man and then appeals for a corner kick as it bobbled towards the byline, but it's gathered by Bojan. And Canada now will be just ticking off those milestones, weren't they? Leading by 1-0. They need to get to 15 minutes, half an hour, and just keep Croatia at bay for as long as they can.
Yeah, there does seem to be a little bit of panic every time the ball goes in the Canadian goal mouth. There does seem to be a little bit of nervousness in there, so I think the best part of their team is at the other end of the pitch.
And they're giving the ball away now, but Eskakio with a good challenge on Modric, and it's wide to Buchanan of Club Brugge on the far side. He's been caught, and it will be a free kick for Canada. Perisic with the challenge. It was Buchanan's cross, headed in by Alphonso Davies. Canada played 3 games, also against European sides at the 1986 World Cup, and lost all 3 without scoring. That 1-0 defeat against Belgium, but they are finally off the mark here as Davies is in pursuit of another ball forward. Look at his pace. Wide to this near side. He gave Kramaric about 10 yards and still caught him up.
Yeah, and I was fortunate to go and watch the France game last night. You know, that Mbappe, ridiculous speed. But these two up front, Buchanan and Alphonso Davies on the wings, they're both Olympic sprinters as well.
Half time in the FA Cup. Newport lead Derby County by 1-0. The shock today, Boreham Wood of the National League winning by 2-0 away to League One Bristol Rovers. So Joey Barton won't be happy as Johnston clips it wide to this near side, the left for Canada. Laria has support from Davies. Larin also makes the run down the line. Laria, though, using him as a decoy. It's poked back in field towards Davies. Now the ageless Atiba Hutchinson. Ustakio finding Larin. A good ball in towards the near post, and Davies almost got the run on Lovren, but Lovren did well to recover. And then he picks up a rather cheap free kick on this near side, but Davies has licence to pop up anywhere around the Croatian penalty area. We've seen that already with the goal, and they've no idea where he's coming from.
I know it sounds a bit basic, but like when you're coaching groups of players, you do say, lads, you know, you do realise you've got to sprint. You can't just walk around the football pitch. You have to sprint. This Canadian team, I'm going to count at the end of the game. I'm going to have a look how many dynamic sprints they make in 90 minutes. I bet it's way more than Croatia.
Here is Juranovic of Celtic on this near side. Modric tries to help the ball on to Brozovic, and Modric again is very tightly marked by Ustakio. And Stephen Ustakio of Porto has clearly been given the job of following Modric wherever he goes during this game, and he's taking that to the letter so far as Kramaric finds Brozovic, flicked in field towards Modric again. He manages to evade his shadow on this occasion. His ball into the midfield area is flicked on by Brozovic, but eventually it is cleared downfield by Stephen Vittoria, and it will be a throw into Croatia on the far side, taken quickly by Sosa. Back towards Josko Gvardiol, the man in the mask at the back for Croatia. Lovren into the path of Kovacic, but he looks downfield and there's very little movement, so he has to check back and use Gvardiol of Leipzig once again. Now Sosa with his fair hair tied back by a headband. Modric likewise, but his ball forward is quickly cut out, but it's gathered by Brozovic once again. Kovacic. Sustained possession here for Croatia, deep inside the Canadian half, but they trail by 1-0 with 17 minutes played, and the high ball in is fisted away by Bojan, quickly returned by Juranovic into the penalty area. Perisic though is unable to control, and in the end he fouls his man Alistair Johnston as he looked to try and bear down on goal, and it's a free kick to Canada.
I think it's vital for the Canadian defence to just keep getting up the pitch and closing that gap between the midfield and themselves. If Modric gets in that gap, he will hurt you. So every time the ball gets passed backwards by a Croatian player, you've got to squeeze 10 yards up the pitch.
Don't forget, coming up at 7 o'clock UK time on TalkSport, a massive game, Spain against Germany. All the build-up with Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce will be your commentary team. Germany looking to recover from that opening game defeat against Japan, who themselves were beaten by Costa Rica today by a 1-0. A late goal by Keisha Fuller in the opening game of the day. We brought you on TalkSport 2. Now Buchanan clips it into the penalty area. Larin with a back heel, who was looking for Buchanan to continue his run into the penalty area, but eventually it is swooped on by Livakovic.
Croatia, pedestrian. I'm looking at Kovacic trying to get back there, and Modric can't get back. They can run forward, but the Canadian players just look fitter than them. And I go back to, how have they prepared for this tournament? Because Canada, Saudi Arabia look like they've had 6 friendlies. I mean, Croatia, these teams, you don't know what preparation they've had.
Well, they've not been given the room in the European schedule to have any friendlies, have they?
No.
Hutchinson plays it forward towards Larin, laid back towards Buchanan, high towards the far post again. Juranovic wasn't sure what was around him there, so his header at the far post is behind for Canada's first corner kick.
Oh, he's done the right thing. He just got done by Alphonso Davies at the back post. He wasn't sure. If you're not sure, head it out for a corner and just reset yourself.
19 minutes played here on TalkSport. Croatia 0, Canada 1 is the latest score on a day of shock so far. The corner's played short. Davies finding Hutchinson. It's poked into the penalty area. Canada struggle to get the shot on target. It's eventually scrambled clear by Gvardiol up towards the halfway line. Laria is the last man for Canada, and he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Milan Bojan, wearing all sky blue or maybe turquoise, defending the goal away to our right hand side. And don't forget, 4 more games coming up on TalkSport and TalkSport 2 tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Cameroon against Serbia with Mark Wilson and Mickey Gray on TalkSport 2. Then at 1 o'clock, South Korea against Ghana, as Croatia bring it forward now with a high cross into the penalty area. Kramaric nods it back towards Modric, but again he's unable to get the shot on target. Ustakia with the clearance, and now a mistake at the other end by Juranovic, and Alphonso Davies is away for Canada, breaking into the penalty area. Low ball towards the far post, evaded both David and Larin, and it will be brought clear on the edge of the penalty area by Kovacic. But on those turnovers, Canada full of energy.
Yeah, and Juranovic is having a nightmare. 15 minutes, Alphonso Davies is terrifying him. He's just miskicked the ball there completely. Alphonso Davies runs to the byline. There's 3 in the box. He just gets the cross wrong. That's that final bit they have problems with.
Croatia looking to build again, but Dean Saunders used the word pedestrian, and that's about right so far for the way they've approached this game. Canada with the early goal, and they have something to hold on to, but the way they're playing, it's something to build on. As Juranovic gathers on this near side, the Croatian right, further wide to Kramaric, but he has to go back to the halfway line again, and Lovren, now involved in his 3rd World Cup at the age of 33, the former Liverpool and Southampton defender with Zenit St. Petersburg in Russia. Sosa will try and take on Buchanan, delivers the cross in, but it's headed away, unchallenged by Kamal Miller, one of the MLS players in this Canadian team, plays for Montreal. And there is a mix of European stars and homegrown players. Kovacic making the break towards the penalty area now, poked it through to Levaya, who was off balance as he tried to divert the ball beyond Bojan, and he's able to make a simple claim.
Well, it was nearly a goal. I mean, Kovacic showing his class there. Breaks at the Canadian back four. He's running at him and pokes outside of his foot, pokes Kramovic through. He's got his toe on the ball, a little bit more toe, and it goes past the keeper. He's unlucky.
Ian Danter and Dean Ashton will bring you South Korea against Ghana at 1 o'clock tomorrow in Group H. In Group G, at 4 o'clock on Talk Sport, it is Brazil against Switzerland with Joe Shannon and Tony Cascarino. And then at 7 o'clock in Group H, Portugal against Uruguay. You could bill that as Cristiano Ronaldo against Luis Suarez, maybe. Two more ageing stars at this World Cup. Alex Crook and Leanne Sanderson will bring you that game. And of course, 7 o'clock on Tuesday evening, England against Wales. Live from Al Rayyan. Wales need to win to guarantee their place in the next round. England will be through with, well, anything basically which isn't a 4-0 defeat.
Alphonso Davies again. Nutmegs. I think it was Kovacic. He's nutmegged him, come across the pitch. He's so unlucky. He's come across the pitch with the ball, tries to thread Larin in, nearly got him in. Lovren done well.
Well, the Croatian supporters inside the Khalifa Stadium at the moment looking rather concerned, because the more dangerous side looks to be the one leading by a goal to nil, and that's Canada. Here is 39-year-old Atiba Hutchinson fighting Davies. Ustakia. Larea back towards Davies again, and Croatia try and get two players around him whenever he's on the ball, but that's easier said than done. Johnston wide to Buchanan down the Canadian right-hand side. Three wait for the cross. Buchanan twisting and turning, fighting Johnston. A low ball into the near post, turned away by Gvardiol. Sosa though losing out to Johnston, and now on the edge of the penalty area. Buchanan tries to thread it through. Brozovic with the challenge, but it's all very laboured from Croatia. Eventually Lovren steps in before Larin to get the ball partially away, but Canada win the ball back inside the Croatian half. Ustakia wide to this near side, and Laria, he will try and take on Juranovic once again, but Juranovic stands firm at the expense of a Canadian throw-in. All Canada.
They just look so fit, Nigel. Fit, athletic, sharp, effort.
Richie Laria, who was on loan from Nottingham Forest at Toronto in MLS, he will take the throw-in on this near side, and it was a foul throw. We've not seen too many of those penalised in this World Cup, but without any question it was, and Juranovic will try and get Croatia moving here. Don't forget, coming up next Saturday on Talk Sport, we bring you live and exclusive radio commentary of Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora, the trilogy, the WBC World Heavyweight title. Listen on air via your smart speaker or download the Talk Sport app for free. I was making the point to Stuart Pearce yesterday during the Argentina game. It's December next week. Doesn't feel like it, does it? Not here.
I got sunburned today.
I know.
How about that?
You are beetroot red. Absolute disgrace.
We're lucky to be here, Nigel. I mean, I'm loving it. It's brilliant. There's 4 games a day. All we're doing is talking about football. Next game after this one, Spain and Germany. Unbelievable.
But this is a good game. To be. This is an excellent game so far, and an excellent story developing, with Canada leading by a goal to nil. Croatia looking to respond here, and it's Kramaric with a run into the penalty area, goal side of Laria. Kramaric with a low shot into the back of the net, and the flag has been raised, and he's offside. It won't count. And Andrej Kramaric can't believe it. He seemed to have done everything right to evade the challenge and then thread the ball low beyond Bojan, but it won't count, although VAR are checking this.
It's tight. I think he's just offside, but Modric flicks a pass round the corner.
It wasn't Kramaric, it was the player who gave him the ball, Marco Lavaya, earlier on in the move.
Didn't he take it well though?
He did.
Shot back a few times and slotted it in the far corner.
And the free kick has been given to Canada for the offside call against Lavaya. Kramaric was onside, but he received the ball from Lavaya, and it won't count, and that's a reprieve for Canada.
Yeah, I mean, he's took it really well, Kramaric. He's obviously like a poacher, isn't he?
Leicester fans may disagree.
Well,
Didn't have a great time there, but he has been better since. And you look at his Croatian record, 20 goals in 75 games, now playing for Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. He scored against Russia in 2018 when Croatia knocked them out, and he's been used consistently by Zlatko Dalic. Of course, they're looking to replace long-term Mario Mandzukic, and he's wearing the number 9 shirt. Great pace from Buchanan again, down the right-hand side for Canada, comes in field, goes down under the challenger Guardiol, looking for the free kick, but nothing is being given, and Modric comes forward now on this near side for Canada. Now Brozovic, Kovakovic, and there is space for Perisic, but another good challenge coming in from Johnston, and he's had an excellent game so far to the right of the Canadian back three, and Guardiol will gather deep inside the Croatian half once again. 28 minutes played here, live on Talk Sport. Croatia 0, Canada 1 is the shock scoreline, but on the balance of play it is no surprise. Brozovic once again lofts it wide to this near side, looking for Kramaric, and it's controlled neatly by Laria, and he has been caught in turn by Brozovic, and it will be a free kick for Canada.
I don't know what you think, Nige, but Perisic, since he's come to the Premier League, I've been a bit surprised really how little impact he's had. I thought he would be, I know he's playing at left wing back and it's probably not his best position, but again in this game, 20 minutes, he's given the ball away about 4 times, not done anything, but they have got magic moments in them, these players.
And he has produced in World Cups before, scored in the 2 previous World Cups, and got 3 in Russia, including goals in the semi-final and the final. So he's a big game player, and this now, without any question, is a big game for Croatia, trailing by a goal to 0.
Yeah, I mean the manager of Croatia will half-time will say to his players, probably, there's no way they can keep this up, the energy and effort they're putting in, and the Canadian manager will be saying, we've got to keep it up, lads, otherwise if the game gets stretched, Modric will get in the number 10 position and he'll hurt us.
John Herdman, born in County Durham, the Canadian coach, the first manager to coach teams in both the men's and women's World Cups. He was in charge of Canada when they were the host nation back in 2015 in the Women's World Cup. They were beaten memorably by England in the quarter-finals in Vancouver.
He's got to be the first manager to appear on the front page of the Croatian newspapers with nothing on. He's got to be the first manager.
I would imagine that's a fairly select band. Modric coming forward on the far side, finding Sosa. He goes down, looking for a free kick as he's challenged by Buchanan, and the Uruguayan referee tells him to get up and get on with it. We played half an hour here. Canada coming forward again now with Jonathan David. Born in Brooklyn, but a Canadian international, and a free kick has now been given to Canada for the challenge on him, about 35 yards from goal, and you've got to be impressed with the way they've been playing in this game so far.
Yeah, and Lovren, I mean, I didn't realise he's only 33. I thought he was a lot older than that when he'd check his passport. But he's playing 10 yards too deep for me. And you've got 3 midfield players, class acts in there. Modric is one of them. They're having to play box-to-box football unless they get up the pitch, but they're scared of the pace in the Canadian front line. So they're dropping off.
And there are some big hitters in this Croatian team, but at the moment Canada have outfought and at times outthought them. 31 minutes played. Alphonso Davies, the goal scorer, is over the free kick as they search for a second goal. Flighted high to the far post, but nodded away as far as Eustaquio. He goes back to Laria once again, and Laria, arms outstretched, looking for options, has to go all the way back to Milan Bojan, who has not really had a difficult shot to save so far, conceded the disallowed goal, but Croatia with only 1 attempt on goal in the entire game. Canada have had 1 attempt and they scored from it in the second minute. Brozovic of Inter Milan and Kovacic sweeps it forward again, and there's a run from Perisic down the left-hand side. Two wait for the cross inside the penalty area, but we can see the exasperation from both Brozovic and Kramaric, because Buchanan came back, made the challenge, and then just knocks the ball off Perisic, and Canada had the throw-in.
Well, I was at the France game last night, exact same situation. I'm looking at Lundstrom playing in the same position as Buchanan. Lundstrom jogging back, Buchanan sprinted the length of the pitch to help his fullback. That's how you get results.
Well, John Herdman has sent his team out with a clear game plan here, and at the moment it is working, because they're leading by a goal to nil, and Croatia are chasing this game, yet to score in this World Cup. And so far today we have seen the runner-up and the third place team at the last World Cup really struggle. Belgium losing in this group 2-0 against Morocco, and Croatia are a goal down here. Belgium looked old, and at times in this game so too have Croatia, and I'm sure someone somewhere will produce a starting 11 of players who so far in the World Cup arrive with big reputations but have failed to deliver.
And match fit.
Well, match fit is another thing, yeah.
You wouldn't take a racehorse to the derby if he hadn't been training, would he? These players are like finely tuned athletes.
Louis Sibley has equalised for Derby County in the FA Cup at Rodney Parade. Now 1-1 against Newport. Earlier on today, big win for Burton against Chippenham. Their run is over, but Boreham Woods goes on. They won 2-0 away to Bristol Rovers, and the big shock of the round, of course, Chesterfield from non-league, although big spenders, won 2-0 against Wimbledon yesterday. Juranovic with a long throw into the penalty area for Croatia, and it comes to Kramaric at the far post, looking to turn away from Johnston. Had support from Sosa. He stands up the ball high to the far post, headed away as far as Modric, but he's crowded out. Appeals for handball from both sides inside the penalty area as it pinballs around. Eventually it's cleared away by Laria, and it will be a throw into Croatia on this near side with 10 minutes to play in the first half here on Talk Sport. Canada leading by a goal to nil.
I think there's a mistake in this Canadian defence, Nigel. I think there's a bit of panic every time the ball comes in there, slashing at clearances, can't clear the ball out of your own box.
Juranovic with the throw-in for Croatia into the path of Modric down the right, high to the far post, headed away by Johnston. Canada will try and bring it clear, but Larin was lightweight in the challenge. Here is Brozovic, lofted wide towards the left-hand side. Kramaric is shepherded outside the penalty area by Johnston. Here is Brozovic once again, all the way back to the masked Vardiol. But it's good movement here from Croatia, and now a break into the penalty area from Levaya, and his low shot towards the near post is blocked by the legs of Bojan, and it spins behind for a corner.
Class football. Modric again at the heart of it, popping it through the midfield with a great through ball there, and Kramaric is, I mean, similar to the one that got disallowed. He shot across the keeper, too close to him, and saved it.
Third corner for Croatia, trailing by a goal to nil here. Modric will take it, and it will be an outswinger down the Croatian right-hand side. It's beyond the far post, looking for Vardiol. Lovren is not quite sure where the ball is, headed away by Miller. Now Kovacic and Buchanan again showing real industry on the far side, but Croatia beginning to pick their passes around the penalty area. And here is Kovacic once again, spins away from Ustakio, wide towards the right-hand side, a good ball into the penalty area, and the equaliser this time is swept in by Kramaric, and that was coming for Croatia, and there will be no offside flag to deny Andrej Kramaric this time. Excellent movement around the penalty area. Kramaric not picked up, and the low shot found its way beyond Bojan, and it's 1-1.
He deserved that. It's a great finish, left foot. I mean, they're all behind the ball. They've got 10 men behind the ball, 35 yards out. Kovacic plays the ball out wide. He makes a brilliant, intelligent run between the two centre-backs, lets it run past his left shoulder, strike across the keeper, I watched Cornelius yesterday in the same position blast it into the stand. That's a brilliant finish from a striker who knows where the goal is.
21st international goal for Andrej Kramaric, and one which was much needed for Croatia as we head towards half-time here on TalkSport. And the Croatian supporters inside the stadium with plenty of relief among those celebrations, and that's replicated inside the technical area for the coach Zlatko Dalic. Canada, who had the better of the opening half hour, now must reset and go again.
You could smell it coming there for 5 minutes. They were just getting pinned back, a bit of panic in the 18-yard box. Just got caught out. One ball's done 10 of them.
Now a free kick for Canada on the far side. Buchanan, the player who was caught by Perisic, and the Uruguayan referee is just having words with him. Alphonso Davies will be over this, but the referee just shepherded him back a couple of yards. I would imagine there are more Croatian supporters than Canadians inside the Khalifa Stadium, and we can hear them now. But here is Davies with a free kick for Canada. Poor delivery, but it's sliced across his own penalty area by Brozovic. Hutchinson challenging under the high ball. Eustaquio fighting Davis now, wide on the right-hand side. He will try and use his pace and hit the byline, then cuts infield onto the left, but heads into traffic and doesn't come away with the ball, and Croatia will try and break now. Kramaric over the halfway line, and Johnston really sold himself, and there is a break for Kramaric down the left-hand side. Only Brozovic waits inside the penalty area, now joined by Levaya. Kramaric just checking back and leaving it for Perisic. A low ball in though, takes a couple of deflections and bobbles into the arms of Milan Boya.
Well, it's just a counter-attack there, length of the pitch. Two Canadian defenders diving in, going to ground. Kramovic had no support with him, and the move fizzles out.
Now Larin looking to chase a ball forward from Davies on this near side, but Borna Sosa comes back to make the challenge, and it's with the Croatian goalkeeper Dominik Livakovic. So 1-1 here. Earlier on today in this group, Morocco beating Belgium by 2-0. And elsewhere, a shock win for Costa Rica, a shock for any of us who were in the stadium to see them lose 7-0 against Spain in the opening game. But Japan, who of course beat Germany, were humbled by a late goal from Keisha Fuller in Group E, so it's set up nicely for our 7 o'clock game on TalkSport. Spain against Germany with Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. Germany, of course, looking to get off the mark themselves in that group. But a draw here would put pressure on both of these teams to win their final games, and of course Croatia will be playing Belgium, and that really will be a big European struggle between two sides who seem to be heading towards the end of an era.
Yeah, they're just showing the goal again, you know, that it's a tremendous finish. You've got top class through ball, you just let it run past him. You know, I criticised Cornelius, the Denmark centre forward, last night for getting on an angle, and normally as a striker you've got to hit across the keeper into the side netting at the far post. So if he gets a parry on it, at least there's a chance of a tap-in for somebody else, but you don't normally shoot at the near post. But big problem they've got now, Hutchinson, who's 39, who's the glue that holds that midfield together, is down injured. How long can them legs keep going? But he's an experienced player, and they need him on the pitch, because he'll be telling the defence to get up. He'll be talking to David and telling him, you go with Modric, I'll go with Kosovic. He's just an important player, but I think he's coming back on. He looks okay.
White and Jordan coming up from 10 o'clock tomorrow here on TalkSport. You can also hear an exclusive interview with them, with the head of the 2022 Qatar World Cup, Hassan Al Thawadi, with White and Jordan from 10 o'clock tomorrow. And Laura Woods and Ali McCoy will have TalkSport breakfast from 6. Rick Astley among their guests, like you, Dean. He was
never going to give you up.
He was very
brilliant.
Yeah, he was at his best in the 1980s, just like you.
not revealing anything that I shouldn't, but Alan Shearer, that's his karaoke song.
Is it?
Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. Yeah. Learn it all on
Alan
Talk
Shearer's
Sport.
blocking you on Twitter, isn't it?
He's good as well.
3 minutes to play in the first half here. It's been a really good game, hasn't it? We've seen some fairly dour first halves so far in this World Cup, but this hasn't been one of them.
I don't think Canada can be involved in a bad game. The way they play, they just end to end. You know, they just go at you. The wide players are quick, all good athletic players in midfield. Dodgy at the back at the moment. They look a bit, they're rocking a bit.
We're commentating on their final group game against Morocco. Looking forward to that one, having seen how the Moroccans played today. Now Sosa under pressure from Buchanan on the far side, but he's able to concede a throw-in 5 yards from the Croatian corner flag down the Canadian right. And I think both teams will believe that they have had periods of dominance in this first half. Canada maybe the opening 25 minutes, but since then Croatia have been the better side, and they have picked apart the Canadian team, particularly with the offside goal from Kramaric and the one which did count to make it 1-1.
Well, we discuss off air quite a bit, Nigel, the games and the strategies, and we both agree that Japan, Saudi Arabia just look fit as fiddles, that's gotten results.
And we have to say Iran during that game against Wales.
Leave it out. Why do you have to bring that up?
Well, England against Wales coming up on Tuesday, 7 o'clock from Al Rayyan on Talk Sport. Dean will be part of the commentary team alongside Jim and Stuart. Adrian Durham in the chair. Big build up to that game. There's Ivanovic, strides forward now for Croatia, cuts infield from the right hand side. The challenge comes in from Hutchinson, but a low shot is a brilliant goal from Marko Lavaja, and Croatia have turned things around here. And it's the Hajduk split striker brought back into the side who justifies his inclusion. A terrific low effort beyond a despairing Milan Borjan, and once again Canada were carved apart right down the centre, and having led in the opening minutes, heading towards half-time, they now trail 2-1.
Well, it's just mistakes. You can't miss tackles that you've got to make 35 yards out. You can't let the ball run under your foot, and it did. And Lavaja's just on the D, gets the ball out of his feet on his right foot, low strike to the keeper's right, bottom corner. They look as if they're shaking, and as I said, there's a mistake in that defence, and it'll probably cost them.
Well, there aren't too many home-based players in this Croatian team, but Marko Lavaja with 11 goals in 16 games for Hajduk Split so far this season. That's his 4th international goal, and Croatia lead by 2 goals to 1, and Canada, having finally got their World Cup goal, look as though they will head into half-time trailing. Croatia coming forward now, looking for a third before half-time. Perisic into the penalty area, left-hand side. His low cross was heading towards Borjan, but it was hooked away by Ustakio. Now Sosa for Croatia once again. Down the line for Perisic, and the movement, the third man running from Croatia, is something which Canada are struggling to appreciate at the moment.
They need half-time, Canada. They need to get in. They've lost the composure, rattled.
And we are into a minimum of 5 more minutes. Laria with a header away at the far post, but it's given away by David. Perisic now down the left for Croatia, but a back heel from Johnston will clear for Canada. Hutchinson winning his 100th cap for the Canadians this evening, finding David. And he's been quiet in the game, Jonathan David. Came into the World Cup with a big reputation, a French title winner with Lille a couple of years ago. He's played in the Champions League, but at the moment he is finding it difficult to become involved significantly in the game.
Well, the 3 midfield players that Croatia have are world-class players, and if they get the ball and they get time, they're going to give you a run around.
Johnston with a header away on the far side, and the ball just spinning out of play. In fact, it was kept in play, and Croatia as a result can move forward now. Kramaric with another shot, this time left-footed from outside the penalty area, and it's over the top with players in support.
Unforced error again. They're just making mistake after mistake after mistake. Need the whistle for half-time, get in, regroup, get the shape back, and have a chat about what's going on. They're still in the game, but Croatia have turned the game round now, and they're starting to look like they can go up a gear.
And we still have 3 minutes of added time to play in this first half here on TalkSport. Croatia 2, Canada 1. Croatia coming from behind with 2 goals in 8 minutes, close to half-time, after Alphonso Davies scored after 68 seconds. Now Canada trying to play the ball around the back. Ustakia moves it forward now to Davies on the left-hand side, spins away in field beyond Juranovic, and David finds Johnston, who has to put on the afterburners to keep that ball in play. He's found Buchanan, back towards Hutchinson. And it's a long time since Canada had the ball significantly inside the Croatian half. Ustakia back towards Vitoria. Hutchinson now has got both Johnston and David wide on the right, and David now with a drag back, and he goes down looking for the free kick, and he stayed down, but nothing given by the referee, and Croatia can break again, and it's Kramaric found by Perisic on the edge of the penalty area. Lavia peels away to the left-hand side. Now Brozovic picking up the run of Perisic, making the run from deep, and he's worked the 1-2 inside the penalty area, but Bojan steps in to gather for Canada.
I'm afraid to say the Canadian defenders, this is a different level of movement. They wouldn't be used to this. The movement and the through balls they're having to deal with, they're all over the place. It did look like a foul at the other end of the pitch, though. Don't know why the referee never give it.
Well, 3 goals in the first half, and that's the most we've had in the World Cup so far. Of course, England scored 3 in this stadium against Iran. France also led Australia 2-1 at half-time, and Spain were 3 goals up against Costa Rica, but Croatia looking to add to their tally here on the break, and it's 3 against 2, a low ball into the penalty area, and in the end it is scrambled away by Miller, and he turns around and looks to his midfield, and he is dripping with sweat, and he's had to put the work in once again because there were so many players running off the ball, and it was Gvardiol, the central defender, who was the furthest player forward, but Miller in the end sends the ball spinning high behind for a corner.
Well, you can read his lips there. He's shouting at the team, keep the ball, keep the ball. They just keep making unforced errors. You get punished.
It may just be time for the corner kick here at the end of the first half. Perisic short towards Modric, and it's laid back to Brozovic. Modric again, almost at walking pace, but at any sort of pace he can have an impact on a game. Brozovic making the angle for him now down the left-hand side, but it's back in field to Sosa. And Croatia maybe playing for half-time now. Kramaric is deep, and there goes the half-time whistle. Well, it's been great stuff inside the Khalifa Stadium. The blue touch paper lit by Canada with a goal after 68 seconds. Alphonso Davies with the header, their first in World Cup history, but Croatia regrouped, and goals close to half-time from Andrej Kramaric and Marko Lavia have given the European team the lead after what was a very entertaining 45 minutes. Half-time, Croatia 2, Canada 1.
Next Saturday, TalkSport bring you live exclusive radio commentary of Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora, the trilogy for the WBC World Heavyweight title. Expert team made up of presenters Adam Cattrall, Gareth A. Davis, commentator Andy Clark, and the former super bantamweight champion Spencer Oliver. We've had a few upsets, haven't we, during the World Cup? Can't wait for that next Saturday. Fury against Chisora, Saturday evening. Listen on air on TalkSport via your smart speaker or download the TalkSport app for free. Still to come also tonight here on TalkSport. Spain scored 7 first up in Qatar. They could dump Germany out of the competition altogether tonight. Adrian Durham, your host. Kickoff on TalkSport from 7 p.m. between those two. Croatia with the recovery. Canada carved up, too many challenges missed. Let's start, Dean Saunders, with the goal that made it 2-1. Marko Lavia striking low and true. Zlatko Dalic sure enjoyed that strike. The Croat bench made sure they celebrated plenty, as close as they could to John Herdman, the Canada boss, but a really good response from the Croats.
Yeah, at the start of the game, the Canadian team just looked fitter and stronger and more mobile than them, and they get in front. A great header from Alphonso Davies, great cross from Buchanan, and gradually the midfield three of Kovacic, Modric, especially Modric, started to pop the ball around the Canadian midfield.
Was that because Canada were just giving the ball away too often as well, Dean?
Well, they started to get rattled, and they started making unforced errors and giving the ball away. The defenders have a problem when the ball goes out wide to Perisic, and he comes in field with the ball. They just can't cope with the movement, the cut-in runs that are going in behind them, and the little through balls. This is a different level, and I have to say, I didn't expect Croatia to come back into it. Great goal from Liver, great goal for Kramaric, great goal, two of them, great finishes.
You lose your shape, you'll get punished. This is the elite level. This is the World Cup. Canada, on 2 occasions, punished.
Yeah, when you get rattled, your midfield players sink into your back five. So you end up with 7 players in a line, and then obviously their midfield players are 35 yards out from your goal with no pressure on the ball. They're that good, they will pick the right pass with the right weight on it, and the strikers are good enough to make the right run. They find a gap. A bit like Man City do, when you get pushed back by them. So they got a mountain to climb, Canada, but they're still in the game. The manager might settle them down, stop giving the ball away. At this level, you get punished.
Yeah, they did start brilliantly. I thought actually for the opening 30 minutes, Dean, don't know where you're used to or not, I thought Canada were super physically running Croatia ragged. Energy, vibrancy, which we saw plenty of that against Belgium as well. Croatia having to drop Lovren, having to drop really deep to deal with the physicality of John Herdman's side. And Alphonso Davies, we've got to talk about his goal. 68 seconds on the clock, delivering Canada's first ever World Cup goal. They didn't track him, but did he leap well?
Well, this is what happened. They were playing in their own box, and then one of the defenders got forced to lump the ball up the pitch. Larin is stood in the centre circle on his own. There's 2 centre-backs, especially Lovren, 2 of them marking him. One of you's got to go tight so that he can't get hold of that ball, and the other one covers. So Larin has been able to get the ball on his chest, turn, he slides the ball out to the right to Buchanan. As this is happening, Alphonso Davies takes off like Carl Lewis. He's getting in the box, and Buchanan picks him out. He's got above Juranovic, just beat him in the air. It's a brilliant header, brilliant run. Actually a great goal, but from Croatia's point of view, what are you doing that far back when they're lumping a ball up the pitch? Get up to the halfway line, he can't get hold of that ball then.
And that's what Zlatko Dalic, the Croatian boss, may be saying, Dean, is at 2-1. It's a dangerous scoreline. Canada can hurt us. We need the third, we need the fourth.
Well, I think they'll get it. I'm looking at the defenders just rattled, or like, the movement and the passing around their feet. Some of them can't react to I always found when I played, and we played lower league teams, it was the movement that killed them, not your pace or your skill. Movement, they can't see your runs coming, and that's what it looks like. It looks like they're playing at a different level around the box.
Croatia behind early, but they're in front now. Half-time, Croatia 2, Canada 1. Back with Dean Saunders, Nigel Adderley shortly here on World Cup Game Day Live on TalkSport. Right, let's get the latest odds from this game with William Hill.
In the Zone on TalkSport with William Hill. Get epic value all tournament with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
3 goals first half. Will we get more? Could we get a Canada win still? You can get 11-1 Canada to turn it around to win this evening at the Khalifa International Stadium. A draw at 18-5. Croatia to hang on 3-10. Both teams to score in the second half. Was 2-1 with William Hill. You can now get 5-2. Very interesting. Thanks to William Hill for that. Get epic odds with William Hill. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. begambleaware.org.
In the Zone on TalkSport with William Hill. Get epic value all tournament with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Underway very shortly in the FA Cup second round at Portman Road. I'm sure the noise is building. TalkSport's Ian Stringer.
It is indeed 7 changes for Ipswich from the side that exited the Papa John's Trophy in midweek. A full debut for striker Ghassan Ahadmi, who's joined here from Burton. The story as well, you've got to say, for Ipswich, it's a strong side. Internationals Keogh, Morsey and Burns all start for the Tractor Boys at a Portman Road that's expecting 10,000 this afternoon, incidentally. As for visitors, Buxton, well, they've made 5 changes to a National League North defeat against Blythe Spartans. Remember, they've not been in scintillating form. As much as the 88 places and the romantics amongst us would love to see a Buxton win, they're up against it in terms of their form. They've lost the last 3. The manager has made 5 changes. Here's the story if you want it, though. How about this? 19-year-old Max Conway joined from Bolton on Friday on loan. Yes, he's a left-back, left-wing-back. Today is his first ever senior appearance. So it would be an enormous upset, but it's what we love the FA Cup for, is it not? Good luck to one and all. 19-year-old Max Conway could be the star. Incidentally, Jack McKay starts up front for Buxton. 26-year-old is the son of the agent, Willie McKay, incidentally. Ipswich versus Buxton.
Ian Stringer keeping across that one for Talk Sport. Canada started lightning fast, but as that first half proceeded, continued on, Croatia began to boss it. Half-time, Croatia 2, Canada 1.
World Cup Game Day live on Talk Sport, presented by Carling. Carling, we're made by our mates. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
At William Hill, we get the value of the World Cup.
Best chance in 66.
The value of the players.
They've got some decent strikers.
The value of the draw.
Wales, England, unbelievable.
The value of your bet.
Wow, that's great odds.
That's why during the World Cup, William Hill is giving you more epic value. Get behind your team with William Hill's Double Your Odds. Available every tournament day. Now that's epic value. All tournament. It's who you play with. William Hill. Online and in shop for Plus card holders only. Max £10 stake. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
With the biggest range of cars to buy entirely online, it's no wonder everyone's cinching it. Talk us through it, Deck.
Yeah, I knew we were on track to bring it home, but for free? Didn't see that coming.
Luke.
Yeah, coming away with a 14-day money-back guarantee. Unbelievable.
Anything to add, Steve?
At the end of the day, the lads really cinched it. Perfect delivery with no unexpected charges. I'm ecstatic.
With so many great reasons to buy, the nation aren't just nailing it, they're cinching it. Comparison against equivalent retailers. Visit cinch.co.uk/range claim. Mileage and delivery restrictions and terms apply.
Right, kids, I need to stop at the BP. No messing about, let's get in and out.
Mom, can I have some Wotsits? And Cadbury Snowballs?
You know, if you buy those, you get 10p off every litre of fuel.
Oh, treats all round then.
Yeah!
Pick any 2 items like assorted snacks or Wild Bean Cafe hot drinks at your local BP for 10p off every litre of fuel. BP, here for all of life's journeys. T's and C's apply, subject to availability. Selected stores only. For more details, see bp.co.uk/latest offers.
A Lamona oven and gas hob for just £99. It's another reason why Howdens is bang on the money.
Hang on, are you sure that's the price?
Yeah, script says oven and hob for £99.
Wow, that really is bang on the money.
And all Lamona appliances come with a 3-year guarantee. Plus, with everything supplied locally from stock, you'll get it fast too. So get to your local Howdens. Hurry, stocks are limited. Trade customers only. Price excludes VAT at 20%.
Being a tradie is great. It feels good to build something. But there's more to life than work, you know? I wanted to get out and do more on the weekend. That's why I moved to Western Australia. To wet a line or two.
I think you're on, mate.
And build a life for myself. Search Build a Life in WA to learn more about a life in Western Australia. Authorised by the Government of Western Australia, Perth.
More than one, maybe 2 types of cupboard.
You can't choose who's allowed in the pub, which means you can't stop that annoying bloke from getting in or talking to you about his new kitchen for 90 minutes,
White cabinets.
forcing you to miss the entire match.
I wanted this shiny one, she wanted this.
Enjoy 100% of the game at home with a Rustler's burger made with 100% British and Irish beef. Give yourself the chance to win the ultimate football party by bringing it home with Rustler's.
I love Christmas carols and power tools. Listen to this. On the first day of Christmas, Ryobi gave to me a whole new starter kit and a power tool for free. Buy any Ryobi 1 Plus Christmas starter kit, costs costing over $109.99, like a combi drill, torch, 2 2-amp-hour batteries and charger, and get another power tool totally free. Buy online at ryobitools.co.uk/Christmas or sledge into a participating retailer today. Terms and conditions apply. Ho, ho, ho!
World Cup Game Day, live on TalkSport. Presented by Dobble from Asmodee UK. Double, double, double. Oi, oi, oi. Dobble, available at all good retailers.
TalkSport. Direct from the dunes on 1089 and 1053 medium wave. World Cup Game Day live with Dan Windle.
TalkSport.
Been alright, hasn't it? Been a good day from the World Cup in Qatar. Still to come on TalkSport as well. Spain, Germany. 7 o'clock start. Adrian Durham, your host. You don't want to go anywhere. Captivating at the Khalifa International Stadium. It's had its pendulum swings. Canada leading early. Croatia striking back. Time now for the halftime highlights on TalkSport with Carling.
Halftime highlights on TalkSport with Carling. We're made by our mates. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Croatia leading 2-1 over Canada. Here's how it sounded on TalkSport.
It's been a day of upsets with Costa Rica and Morocco picking up victories against fancied opposition. Will Canada make history, score a goal or two, and give us a trio of World Cup shocks? High cross into the penalty area, a brilliant header and a brilliant goal! Alphonso Davies with Canada's first ever in the World Cup. It had to be him. And what a moment for Canada. And it's Kramaric with a run into the penalty area, goal side of Laria. Kramaric with a low shot into the back of the net. And the flag has been raised and he's offside. It won't count. Wide towards the right-hand side, a good ball into the penalty area. And the equaliser this time is swept in by Kramaric. And that was coming for Croatia. And there will be no offside flag to deny Andrej Kramaric this time. Challenge comes in from Hutchinson, but a low shot is a brilliant goal from Marco Lavaya, and Croatia have turned things around here. Canada were carved apart right down the centre, and having led in the opening minutes, heading towards half-time, they now trail 2-1.
That was a look at the halftime highlights on TalkSport with Carling. We're made by our mates. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Halftime highlights on TalkSport with Carling. We're made by our mates. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Full times in the second round of the FA Cup. Ebbsfleet United 0, Fleetwood Town 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Boreham Wood of the non-league 2. Surprise there at the Memorial Stadium. Burton Albion 6-1 victors over Chippenham Town. Late goal for David McGoldrick. Looks like he's won it for Derby County at Newport County. 1-2, 2-1-2 Derby closing in on full time in Wales, and underway just kicked off. Ipswich Town against Buxton. Ian Stringer keeping you across that one. Both sides back out at the Khalifa International Stadium. Excellent first half. What will the second half bring? Looks like a Canada change to tell you about with our commentary team, with the former Wales striker Dean Saunders alongside Nigel Adley.
Yes, there will be a change made by Canada before the second half gets underway. Jonathan Osorio of Toronto will be coming on, very experienced player, midfielder. In fact, there will be two changes. Ishmael Kone, a player only 20 years of age at the other end of his career, and it's Ustakio and Larin who have gone off, and Kone and Osorio will come on. So I think it's a case of John Herdman maybe looking to stiffen his midfield here, Dean Saunders.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic are three really good players, and they can't get a grip of it because you expect one of them to be the deep lying midfield player, but they're not doing that. They're playing as a flat three. They're getting the ball wide, and Modric is supporting the wide player instead of going and getting the ball off the back four, so they can't even drop one of the strikers back on one of the midfield players, so they're just getting control of the game. So he's got to do something, and he has.
Canada with the second half underway here on TalkSport, trailing by 2-1. Their team with two changes: Boyan in goal, Johnston, Vittoria and Miller the back three, Laria, Hutchinson, Kone and Davis across midfield now, with Osorio just in front of them, and Buchanan and David looking to offer something moving forward in attack. And Carl Larin was brought in as the striker, had a couple of runs on goal early on, but the longer the first half went on, the less effective he became.
Yeah, I mean, the manager's probably said to him, just give me 45 minutes, just give me everything you got and we'll bring you off and I'll put someone else on. I know it's going to be a lot of donkey work up there. You're going to have to chase lost causes and fight for headers, and he done okay. I don't, maybe he's got a little injury or something.
And the Croatian team, Livakovic in goal, Juranovic, Lovren, Gvardiol and Sosa the back four, Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic in midfield, with Levaya, Kramaric, the two goal scorers, and Perisic in attack. And it's a 3-4-3 formation for Canada, so they will retain that attacking intent, with AZOIR trying to get forward and support Buchanan and David. But it could be a difficult ask for them in the second half, trailing here by 2-1 on TalkSport. Earlier on today, late goals from Abdelhamid Sabiri and Zakaria Aboukal, giving Morocco a shock but merited 2-0 win over Belgium. And that has thrown this group wide open. And that means that a win for either of these sides, and they will be very well placed heading into the final round of group games. Of course, Croatia face Belgium, and either could knock each other out, and Canada or Morocco could capitalise when they also meet. So it's going to be one of those fascinating double headers at the end of a group stage, where both games could really have something on it very deep into the competition. The NFL show is currently underway over on TalkSport 2. All the action from the 6 o'clock games, plus commentary of the Saints at the 49ers. That comes up at 9:25 tonight. 7 o'clock here on TalkSport, Spain against Germany. Always a big game at the World Cup, and it's a big game for Germany, but they've been given a potential reprieve earlier on today by Costa Rica's late victory, thanks to Keisha Fuller's goal against Japan. So there is the prospect of 3 teams on 3 points. In fact, all 4 teams could have 3 points at the end of the day's play in that group if Germany win. Now Buchanan coming forward for Canada now. Low ball into the penalty area from the right is blocked. Brozovic will try and bring it clear, but AZOIR wins it back. Buchanan with a high cross to the far post, nodded back in field by Laria, looking for Davis, but it's cleared away by Lovren. But Canada moving forward again now. AZOIR 25 yards out, rides one challenge, strikes the shot just wide. Well, that was so close from Jonathan AZOIR. His first real involvement, but he set himself for the right-footed shot, skimmed over the head of Gvardiol, and the goalkeeper Livakovic was scrambling, but it was inches wide.
Well, it started with a cross from Buchanan's, dinked the ball to the back post. Laria's, I thought he should have headed for goal, but he's headed it back across the goal, ends up with AZOIR, and it's so close to going in. He's at a strike with his right foot, just curled away from the post.
Only Canada's second attempt on goal. The other one was their goal. After 68 seconds scored by Alphonso Davies, their long wait for a World Cup goal is over, but at the moment they are heading for back-to-back defeats, and it was only the second time in this World Cup so far that both teams have scored in the first half of a game, and the other one was France against Australia, who've often had 0-0 scorelines at the break. 13 times that's happened so far, but not here today. It's been one of the better games we've seen in the group stage, and although Morocco left it late in their game against Belgium, they were terrific today, and it is really good to see the African teams beginning to perform in this World Cup. Gvardiol now for Croatia, scoops it down the line and it's into the body of Buchanan, and it will be a throw-in for the Croats, who took time to show their quality in this game, but now lead by 2-1, and we are 5 minutes into the second half here on TalkSport. Buchanan's ball forward is won by Davies. Real endeavour from him, and now great pace up towards the edge of the penalty area, but a retreating Sosa makes the challenge, and Croatia will clear, and now there's a gap for Kovacic to exploit right down the centre, wide towards Kramaric, round it down the right hand side for Croatia. Perisic makes the run towards the penalty spot. Kramaric with the cross, tries to find him, but it's over the head of Perisic. It's retrieved at the far post by Borna Sosa. Great ball in. Bojan has lost it, but in the end, it was Brozovic who was unable to apply the finishing touch.
Another enforced error from one of the defenders. Just had to clear the ball. He side-footed it into midfield. Kovacic picks it up, spreads it out the wide. You know, you look at Kramaric. We talked a lot about strikers like Denmark needing a centre forward. You know, they haven't got that striker. I think if you look at Kramaric's his contribution today, 3 shots, 1 disallowed, 1 save of the keeper, 1 in the net.
First yellow card has been shown, and it's Tyon Buchanan. Challenge from behind on Josip Gvardiol. It was a petulant swipe of the heels there from Buchanan. Maybe left a couple of studs in as well, and he rightly picks up a yellow card. Derby have won by 2-1 at Newport in the FA Cup, coming from behind to win that game at Rodney Parade, and Croatia, very different surroundings, have come from behind to lead here against Canada in the Khalifa Stadium. And this stadium has been the place to go for goals and entertainment so far. England beating Iran 6-2 here in the opening game. Japan coming from behind to beat Germany. Ecuador played really well in their 1-1 draw against the Netherlands, as the free kick for Croatia is played wide to the right-hand side. The crossing, though, is headed away by Hutchinson. Still to come in this stadium, 2 really good-looking games in the final round in the group stage. Japan against Spain and Ecuador against Senegal. The winner of that game could end up facing England in the round of 16.
My favourite stadium so far, Nigel, I don't know about you, it was the one made full of containers.
Oh, the 974
stadium, that's my favourite stadium. Right close to the pitch.
I have to say, I really enjoyed my evening in the Lusail Stadium last night, watching Argentina against Mexico.
Right, not been there yet.
That was a wonderful football experience, and 89,000 people there. The biggest crowd in the World Cup since the final in 1994, remarkably. Laria now coming forward for Canada. Down the left-hand side, back to Alphonso Davies. And he will now try and poke the ball forward, but he's been denied by Kovacic, and Croatia looking to bring the ball forward again now on this near side with Sosa. Sosa's got support. Canada just leave themselves short at the back when they break forward in that manner. But here is Modric, 25 yards from goal, wide towards the far side again, and Kramaric, who has run that channel very effectively for Croatia so far. Brozovic back towards Modric, who's got space down the right-hand side, pulls it back. Kramaric, brilliant save by Bojan. Kramaric knows he should have made it 3-1. A shot very close to goal, but Bojan plunged away to his right and was able to tip the ball behind.
Movement's killing them. I mean, they just can't cope with the movement. Modric picks the ball up, looks out at Kramaric, passes it out to the right to him, overlaps him. Kramaric, it's a reverse pass for Modric. All the Canadian defenders are going, where did he come from? Gets to the byline, squares it. I mean, it's a great save. It's a tap-in. But the keeper gets his hands on it. It's a great save.
We often talk about levels, and we have players here from MLS in the Canadian team up against some of the best in Europe at times. Now Kovacic with a cross in, blocked by the body of Hutchinson, who just turned his back there but was able to make the clearance. Now Davies, who of course is a European star, but Modric will be penalised there as he challenged AZOIR, and it will be a free kick for Canada. And if you're John Herdman here, how do you try and stop that movement?
Well, ideally you'd stop the 3 midfield players getting control of the game, because right now they've got it, and basically they're giving the ball away. And there's 3 reasons why you give the ball away. Your technique lets you down. There's no movement in front of you, or the opposition are pressing you into mistakes. Right now, the Canadians' technique letting them down. Basics.
But here's an opportunity for AZOIR into the penalty area right-hand side, laid back to Buchanan, who cuts in field, and the shot, it's tipped over the top by Kramaric. And Canada so close to an equalising goal. In the aftermath of that, Dejan Lovren has been shown a yellow card, but Jonathan David from the edge of the penalty area must have thought it equalised, but he was denied by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it has gone straight at him. I think it got a little deflection, so it's probably in the middle of the goal. Just looks like it's going to loop over the keeper's head, and he caught him on the wrong foot, so he's just about got the flap of his hand to flick it over the bar. Unlucky.
Yellow card for Dejan Lovren for a challenge on David earlier on. Davis with the corner kick high to the far post. Atiba Hutchinson, who is showing evidence of a facial injury during the first half, challenges for it. Now Kone will have to go all the way back towards Boyan, but Canada have got players forward here. And there is a wadge of cotton wool stuffed up the nostril of Atiba Hutchinson as he retreats now up towards the halfway line. Now Modric. And Brozovic with a good ball into space for Juranovic down the left, and it's quickly helped on towards Kramaric again, but Kamal Miller is able to step in and just help it out of play. But Canada here at times are short-handed at the back, and as a result, with 56 minutes played here on TalkSport at the World Cup, it is Croatia leading Canada by 2-1, and the next goal in this game absolutely crucial should there be one. Now Buchanan for Canada picks up a loose ball on the edge of his own penalty area. Vittoria goes back to Boyan, but his clearance is a poor one. Straight to Perisic, it's crossed into the area, and it's a poor cross as well, which is gathered by the goalkeeper with some relief. Now Buchanan streaking forward over the halfway line, wide to Davis, who's quick enough to keep the ball in play. Down the Canadian right, he can cut infield onto the left foot, and now Buchanan on the edge of the penalty area. His shot though was blocked by Brozovic, who turned his back but was able to get just enough in the way. And here is Kramaric on the far side, pressurised by AZOIR, lofts it down the line. Levaya is beaten to it by Vittoria, and Canada here are keeping Croatia penned in, and you feel that's the only way they will find a way back into this game.
And everything starts with Alphonso Davies. He wins the ball back, he carries the ball, nearly all the good moves he's involved in it. What a good player he is.
The name like Davies, it's a shame he's not Welsh. Ossie Roberts maybe missed a trick.
Or Brian Flynn.
Anyway, he is a very proud Canadian, and of course we've seen him in Europe now for a number of years, playing for Bayern Munich. You're not a good player if you can't impress in that sort of environment, and he certainly is a good player. He's broken up by Johnston on the far side, and now AZOIR quickly infield, and Canada enjoying their best spell of the game for some time. Here is Buchanan, who nutmegs the challenge on the far side of Gvardiol, then just slips on the edge of the penalty area, and the clearance thuds into the body of AZOIR and spins out of play for a throw-in to Croatia.
I think this game's got goals, more goals. Both teams look like they're going to score any minute, end to end. I just think the movement from Croatia is top class, and they can't cope. When they get around Canada's box, the defenders just don't see the movement, they don't see the runs, they're just playing at a different level. You've just got to try and keep them away from the box somehow.
A reminder, coming up at 7 o'clock here on TalkSport, Spain against Germany from Group E, where already today Costa Rica have beaten Japan by 1-0 to open things up for Germany once again in that group after their defeat to the Japanese, as Vittoria denies Levaya on the edge of the penalty area. Croatia are about to make a change themselves here, and it's Bruno Petkovic of Dynamo Zagreb who will be coming on. He's not scored in 14 internationals, and he will replace the player who scored the second goal for them, Marco Levaya.
He looks disappointed coming off. Scored a great goal. He's one of them strikers, and every supporter will understand this, who've got playing for you, that doesn't look the part, but manages to bang goals in.
He's been a regular goal scorer, Levaya, in the Croatian league for Hajduk Split this season. Petkovic also played for Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League, and Junior Hoyland will be coming on shortly for Canada, the Reading winger. And I think even Reading fans may be shocked to see he's still only 32.
No.
Yeah. He was playing when you were playing.
52.
Anyway, he'll be on shortly.
He can't be still quick, because he is quick.
He is quick, and if they bring him on alongside Alphonso Davies, there will be an opportunity for them to stretch the Croatian defence even more.
He must be a bit disappointed he's been left out today after the way the team played.
Here is Davies on the breakaway once again. He's skipping away from the first challenge. Guardiola does just enough to hold him up, but they are scared to death of Alphonso Davies whenever he gets on the ball.
In the game, he's one of them known as he can finish your career off, you know, because it comes up Lovren. He keeps outpacing defenders, and the manager goes, "That's it, hang him up."
Well, it is Richie Lariat who is coming off, so Hoylett will play wide on the right-hand side, and he'll have defensive responsibilities as well. Kone looks to turn on the edge of the penalty area, and he was hauled down there by Guardiola, very close to the box, and it's a free kick here for Canada in a really good position.
Well, there's only 2 yards outside the box there. They're really lucky to get away with that.
And it was Alphonso Davies, in fact, who was fouled. He is over the free kick here along with Hoylett, and Davies could curl this left-footed.
What a player. I'm so impressed. I know I've watched him play for Bayern Munich, and he slots in with all them great players. When he's in the Canadian team, he stands out.
Davies and Hoylett are over the free kick here for Canada. 63 minutes played on TalkSport. The Croatians lead by 2-1. Only 3 in the wall here, and there is an inviting gap to the right of that for Davies to try and hit. And in the end, he strikes it low into the wall, and it will be a throw into Canada on this near side.
I built him up there, and he's hit the wall. Halfway up it, middle of the wall.
But Canada
rubbish.
Still moving forward here. Johnston with a high ball forward, and it's one bounce towards Dominik Livakovic. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, 10 o'clock on TalkSport 2, Cameroon against Serbia from Group G with Mark Wilson and Mickey Gray. 1 o'clock here on TalkSport Group H, South Korea against Ghana with Ian Danta and Dean Ashton. In Group G at 4 o'clock, we'll see Brazil again against Switzerland with Joe Shannon and Tony Cascarino. And then Ronaldo against Suarez coming up at 7 o'clock in Group H. Portugal against Uruguay with Alex Crook and Leanne Sanderson. And Tuesday from 5 o'clock, England against Wales. We will build up to that game. 7 o'clock kickoff. And of course, Wales have to win that game to have any hope of qualification. They would also need a draw in the final match. England still very well placed despite the manner of that 0-0 draw against the Americans on Friday night. They will be looking to clinch top position in the group and probably avoid the Netherlands in the round of 16, but whoever they play from that group doesn't look to be too easy. It will be either Senegal or Ecuador, other possibilities.
I think the most underprepared team I've seen so far is Uruguay. They just look totally out of sorts. No sort of speed of passing, no energy. Suarez doesn't look fit. Be interesting to see how they react in the next game.
65 minutes played here at the Khalifa Stadium. Croatia 2, Canada 1. And there has been real excitement right from the very start here. And the Canadian supporters look to get behind their team once again. It's a real rarity to have two North American sides in the World Cup, and of course Canada will be one of the host nations in 4 years' time, alongside the US and Mexico. And that World Cup will be the polar opposite to this one. In this World Cup, everybody is grouped in a relatively small geographic area, but that won't be the case in 4 years' time. Almost spread across an entire continent as Croatia try and build on this near side, but it just breaks down between Kovacic and Perisic. The challenge comes in from Atiba Hutchinson, and it will be a throw-in for Croatia. Perisic is possibly winding up for a long one, winning his 118th cap. The Spurs midfielder this evening, into the near post, headed away well though by Vittoria. Davies coming back to try and win it again, but Guardiol with a low cross into the box, the right sort of ball in. It was in towards Petkovic, but it's gathered by Bojan, but his ball wide to the far side is straight out of play.
Yeah, I think that Canada have given up possession too easily, and it's cost them. I mean, all the years I played in international football, the teams are technically so good. If you let them have the ball, you can't get it back off them normally. And obviously the likes of Germany and Brazil and Argentina, the higher up you go. Well, Croatia have got a midfield. 3 of them don't give the ball away.
Davies now turns in field for Canada from the right. He's got support from Kone. He almost played in Buchanan down the left, but a good challenge coming in from Juranovic, the Celtic right back, and it will be a throw-in for Canada. But they have shown signs in the second half that they are well capable of an equalising goal here.
Yeah, I mean, it's at what point do you go for it? Because if Canada leave the back door,
at what point have they not gone for it?
Yeah, but I know what you're saying, but they're actually leaving people up the pitch and telling them not to run back, and then risking Croatia breaking on it. You have to decide on the bench, when do we actually do it? And you turn to your assistants and your coaches, and you have a little chat and say, what do you think? And see what they think. That's why they're there.
This Croatian team with only 1 defeat in 17 games since they lost in the Euros to Spain dramatically. And they're moving forward again now with Petkovic. Spread wide to the left-hand side, but it evades Mateo Kovacic, and it will be a throw-in for Canada. And they have created more chances than the Croatians in the second half, and Davis was almost played in by David there, but it was well seen by Guardiol. And he has had a fine game, the Leipzig central defender, because he has shown that sort of awareness that you need with players as quick as Davis around you.
Yeah, he just read it. I mean, it was Davis gets the ball in the inside right position, and Alonso Davis is out on the touchline on the right, and he tries to run in behind the fullback, and it's a great challenge. Otherwise, he's clean through.
And Croatia looking for the clinching goal here. And the ball into the penalty area, seeks out Petkovic, but Milan Borjan is there to gather once again. Very experienced character in goal for Canada. He kept 9 clean sheets in 14 games in World Cup qualification. And they were very, very impressive at the head of the CONCACAF qualification group. They finished ahead of goal difference before Mexico. And they beat both Mexico and the USA in very frigid conditions at home. I think they chose the coldest places imaginable to play those big World Cup qualifiers, and it paid off for them, but they did draw away from home as well. And John Herdman has done a really good job over a number of years to build up his squad. Of course, it helps having players like Alphonso Davies available to him, but they are much more than just him. Osorio now, infield towards Tiba Hutchinson, but he's given the ball away, and Croatia have the opportunity to break themselves. Kramaric back to Modric, and now Kovacic. Brozovic 25 yards from goal, lofts it wide to this near side, and Perisic. Junior Hoylett will have to come back and do the defending. Perisic goes beyond him, crosses high to the far post, and it's taken down well, and the low shot finds the back of the net, and it's Kramaric once again for Croatia, and that surely is the clinching goal. And they will take control of this group as well. And it's another brilliant goal from the Croatians, rolling back the years, quality football, and another finish from Kramaric, which gave Borjan no chance at all. And despite their endeavours, despite their excitement, Canada are heading for back-to-back defeats.
That was like a poem there, Nigel. It was Kovacic to Kramaric, out to Perisic, into the box. Kramovic, first touch, unbelievable, on the half volley at the back post. He cushions it back inside for himself. 4 shots, 1 disallowed, 1 saved by the keeper, 2 goals. End product. That's what you need. Every single football team needs one of them. They get you out of trouble. It's just a brilliant goal.
Kramaric joins a whole clutch of players on 2 goals so far at this World Cup. And Canada's brave challenge looks to be coming to an end here. Of course, they still have one final game to play, and it's still tight with Belgium only on 3 points. The goal difference could take a hammering here if they're not too careful. Modric with the ball in. Kramaric almost diverts in the ball for his hat-trick, but the ball breaks to this near side, and Perisic is penalised for a shove. Andrej Kramaric has looked every inch the World Cup striker here today.
Nearly his hat-trick. I wouldn't say it was the movement that got that goal. That was just pure class from Kramaric at the back post. It was an outswinging cross from Perisic, and he's took it on the half volley, and the ball has to stay within 12-24 inches of his feet for him to get a shot off, and he managed to do it.
Well, he won't get the hat-trick because he's coming off.
Harsh. I'd be devastated here.
Nikola Vlasic will replace him. Jonathan David has also been withdrawn for Canada, and Lucas Cavallini, the Vancouver striker, will come on. He's an Argentinian father and also played youth football in Uruguay, but the goal-scoring record in international football of almost 1 in 3. But Kramaric has done his job here. Fist pump and an embrace from the manager.
He's saving his legs. I mean, without everyone needs a pat on the back, Nige. That commentary up to the goal there, I might get it and use it as my new ringtone. Perisic to Kramaric, I mean, it just rolled off your tongue, ended with a goal. He's brilliant.
I'm sure there are a number of Serbo-Croat speakers who'll be maybe not agreeing with
Said it wrong.
Tiba Hutchinson has also been replaced, and Sam Adakugbe has come on for Canada. Plays for Hatayspor in Turkey. Born in London though. Scored against the US in one of the big wins in World Cup qualification. Of course, the US still have a real chance of heading through, but it's looking trickier here for their northern cousins. But Alphonso Davies is not giving this up as he brings it forward now on this near side, twisting and turning away from the challenges, but at times he has luck support, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been isolated a little bit, but I mean, when you look to the reason why this game's gone the wrong way for them, unforced errors plus class players with class movement, and it's easy saying, can you stop Modric, can you stop him? You try doing it. They just think before you, and they do everything a second before you've even thought about it.
There's an opportunity inside the penalty area for Cavallini. Davis with another header, almost found Buchanan, but Livakovic took the ball off his toes, and the flag is up for offside anyway.
Yeah, the flag's gone up, but it was unlucky. I mean, there's still more goals in this game. Alphonso Davies again, a great little cushion header from the back post down. Buchanan's in there, but he's offside.
Don't forget, next Saturday, TalkSport will bring you live an exclusive radio commentary of Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora, the trilogy for the WBC World Heavyweight title. Listen live on air, buy your smart speaker, or download the TalkSport app for free. It's a massive weekend of sport coming up. Of course, the round of 16 will also be underway here at the World Cup. Huge games coming up, and it will be knockout football, real knockout football, as Miller is forced to concede a corner on this near side under pressure from Nikola Vlasic, the West Ham striker, currently on loan at Torino in Italy. And Vlasic, another player with a point to prove.
They're all sort of the same shape, these strikers that they're bringing on, Nigel. Like a bit, just a bigger version of Aguero. Low centre of gravity, short back lift, all of them.
And technically very good. That's always been the Balkan way, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Kramaric, only the second Croatian player to score twice in a World Cup game. Mario Mandzukic the first against Cameroon in 2014. World Cup goals are often not easy to come by, but the goals here from Croatia have been superbly made and excellently taken. There's that quality at times, and if you are a team like Canada, they are honest, they've got quality themselves, but if you just come up against a team of a slightly higher calibre, you can get exposed.
Yeah, because the midfield players are on the same wavelength as the strikers, and they just speed the thought. They're ahead of the defenders. They make a run, the defenders not even seeing them half the time. This Canadian defence wouldn't have played against players like this before.
Cleared away by Sosa, but it's a poor clearance straight to Hoylett. He turns, low shot from him right-footed, but it's dragged wide, and he had other players in support. And there has been a goal in the FA Cup at Portman Road. Here's Ian Stringer.
Into the 35th minute, Ipswich 1, Buxton 0. Chaplin with his 7th of the season. Right wing cross, low, 10 yards out, bottom corner. Simple finish, they deserve it. Ipswich 1, Buxton 0.
Thanks, Ian. Croatia leading by 3-1 here, and 1 or 2 Canadian supporters looking a bit glum now in the crowd. Of course, they will enjoy the experience of being here at the World Cup, and they will look forward to their final game coming up on Thursday against Morocco, and they will still have a chance of going through. This group is not over for them at the moment. Croatia and Morocco will be top, and there is an opportunity for Canada to pick up points in their final game, but unless they pick up a draw here, they will be out of the World Cup, because Croatia will have 4 points, Morocco also have 4 points, and Belgium have 3 points. So that game coming up, Croatia against Belgium, Belgium could be heading out. That would be a big fish to go in the group stage.
Energy crisis. Belgium, for me, look like they're on in quicksand, some of them.
You could argue that Canada maybe don't deserve to lose both of their games, but you are harshly judged at the very highest level. Perisic coming forward again now for Croatia, fires in the shot, blocked by the legs of Bojan, and then Vlasic with the effort, and Bojan with an excellent double save there to just about keep Canada in touch.
Vlasic has got a score there. Kovacic is right in the middle of the goal, 8 yards out, and he says, yeah, tap that in. He's got a score.
Now an opportunity at the other end for Alphonso Davies. Hoylett with the cross into the penalty area, but it's cleared away on this occasion by Croatia. And at the moment, it is difficult to make a case for Canada coming back into this game as we head towards the closing stages. Perisic is down, may require some treatment, but we are looking again at that save from Milan Bojan, and he did really well to get up after the first save from Perisic to then denied the second effort from Vlasic.
Yeah, Perisic has done a step over, shifted on his left foot, cross shot, rebound comes to Kovacic, 12 yards out at most, and he just passes it to the side as if to say, go on, tap that in. And he should have scored, really. I mean, the keeper sneezed and saved for the keeper, but bottom corner was waiting.
Well, we've seen some really good goals here today. We've talked about the Croatian goals, but what about the header from Alphonso Davies to make it 1-0?
But what a player. I mean, just watching him, you can see he's head and shoulders above everybody. His athleticism, the way he's got up and headed that ball. And what's he doing there? You know, he's run the length of the pitch to get there. He's good on the ball as well. He's a great player.
He's quick enough to get there. That's the difference, isn't it?
It just looks to me as if he's got everything. But mind you, I did build him up when he got a free kick on the edge of the box and shanked it into the wall.
But Canada are heading out as it stands, and it will be a huge game coming up for Morocco when they meet in the final group stage games. Because of course Morocco will need something to go through, but with Croatia playing Belgium, they are very well placed, and they are another side who have come here with some European players who play at the highest level, and they have lifted their standards collectively to be a force at this World Cup.
And you like Morocco as well. You've said that all along.
Yeah, absolutely. Morocco look a good team. I think Tunisia let themselves down against Australia, but they showed in their opening game, and it's how you play that style. North African teams have often had that style of play. They've got a bit about them, but they've also got quality on the ball.
Now that was a Cuban buster, the Japan game.
Goodness me, having seen Costa Rica in the flesh in the opening game, we thought there was absolutely no way they would beat Japan today. Well, they did, and that's creating a fascinating situation in that group, Group E, and it's set up tonight for our 7 o'clock game, Spain against Germany. Let's get the team news now with Jim Proudfoot.
Nigel, very good evening to you. Danny Carvajal comes in for Cesar Azpilicueta for Spain. That's the only change to the side that beat Costa Rica 7-0. Germany have Thilo Kehrer coming in. He replaces Schlotterbeck. Sasula will move to centre-half. Kai Havertz is left out, didn't work for him playing as a false line the other day. Leon Goretzka comes into the midfield, and that means that Thomas Muller, we expect, will be the man that will lead the line in a false line position as Germany set to move to a 4-3-3. It's not a knockout game as far as Germany are concerned, as it would have been had Costa Rica not beaten Japan, but Germany still very much on the ropes. We kick off here an hour after you finish.
Thanks, Jim. Looking forward to it. And we are a very broad church here on TalkSport today. From Spain against Germany in the World Cup, we go to Ipswich against Buxton in the FA Cup. But Ian Stringer,
I've got the better gig. Ipswich 2, Buxton 0. All done really in the first half. This one, the goal scorer Ahadme on his full debut for Ipswich, his first goal for the club. Left hand side, Edwards with it, cross. Didn't know a great deal about it, Ahadme, but into the bottom corner. Ipswich cruising. Ipswich 2, Buxton 0.
Yeah, keep kidding yourself, Ian.
So after this game, Nigel, we'll go and watch the other game. Go back to the hotel, have a couple of pints of water each, and watch the game.
Spain against Germany, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I was privileged to be with TalkSport at the game last night. Argentina against Mexico. It wasn't a great game of football, but that atmosphere is something we'll remember for a long time.
And I believe the Argentinian fans stayed in the ground for 40 minutes, didn't they?
Incredible. 25,000 fans remained in the ground 45 minutes after kickoff, after the game had finished. Didn't want to leave. And it produced a great backdrop for the final hour of our programme on TalkSport, but no, those are the sort of scenes you come to for the World Cup for. Just the different attitude of South American supporters, and the atmosphere was great. And I think we talked about a pint of water. The absence of alcohol here has, I think, enhanced the atmosphere.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's just no aggression. That's what you notice. Everybody's smiling.
Apart from when we're working with you, obviously. Anyway,
I did actually go to Argentina years ago. I went to watch Klimovic centre forward. So I'd come all the way over on the plane. I went to watch the game, and the centre back got sent off, and they put him at centre half. I come all the way here. 5 minutes I seen him play. He ended up at centre back. Nightmare.
5 minutes to play here. 3-1 to Croatia, and this group will be very well set for 3 of the 4 teams involved heading into the final group stage. But Canada are heading out, but they have given so much, and you get the feeling they will be back pretty soon, as Modric just has a few words with the central defender Kamal Miller, and yellow cards all round for Miller and Modric. And the Uruguayan referee has not taken any nonsense, but in fairness to him, there's not really been too much of an undercurrent throughout the game. It's been left to the coaches.
I think Miller's a winner, and you've seen him first half shouting at his teammates, stop giving the ball away, he's angry, and I think he's just got the raging hump now because they're losing. Modric, I wouldn't be squaring up to Miller. He's about 6'4".
But he is fearless, Luka Modric, as we've seen on so many occasions. Now Buchanan looking to chase on this near side. A goal for Canada now with 5 minutes to play. And you never know, as Croatia ready a triple change. Milav Orsic and Lovro Majer are 2 of the players who will be coming on. Here is Davis again with the gold boots on this near side. Back towards Johnston. His cross thuds into the body of Perisic. Johnston recovers possession all the way back towards Vitoria. Canada will be joining Qatar in the departure lounge at this World Cup very soon, unless we have a dramatic recovery here. And here are the changes for Croatia. Perisic is the first player to be withdrawn. He'll be replaced by Mislav Orsic. the Dynamo Zagreb player. You may remember scored against Chelsea in the Champions League earlier this season. Final match in charge for Thomas Tuchel on that occasion. He has one international goal though. This is 23rd appearance. And Luka Modric is coming off, and he's shown today at the age of 37 he can still be a force to be reckoned with in the World Cup. He's replaced by Lovro Majer of Rennes, and Mateo Kovacic is the other player who has been withdrawn. So plenty of experience has departed here for Croatia, and Pasalic is the third player to come on, Mario Pasalic of Atalanta, who has been part of the Chelsea squad in the past but never played, now at Atalanta. This is his first appearance in a World Cup finals, didn't make the squad in either 2014 or 2018. 3.5 minutes to play here. What has been a very watchable game. Two teams who have been committed to attack right from the start, and in the opening 25 minutes or so Croatia were really rocking, but once they got the equalising goal we began to see how good they could be. But Canada moving forward again here, but a good challenge to deny Cavallini on the edge of the area, but now it's won back by AZOIR. But Sosa is a player who is a considerable unit, and Canada will have to do some defending here because Croatia move it forward again. Players who've just come on have been heavily involved as Lovren clips it forward over the top, and you can just sense that the steam has gone out of Canada now, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've kept going, but they've been outclassed today. I mean, I'm looking at the subs coming on and the clubs they're playing for, and that's one thing I noticed last night at the France game when they started making substitutions. France, I mean, not on the pitch, the team they had out were Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Juventus, AC Milan, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. The bench are the same. So when they bring 5 subs on, when Coleman come on last night, changed the game. Kingsley Coleman, unbelievable player. Turan come on, another unbelievable player.
Here is Hoylett of Reading, one of the players to come on for Canada in the second half. Finding Buchanan, the final touch there was off Mislav Orsic, and it will be a throw-in for Canada, trailing by 3 goals to 1 as we head towards the 90th minute here on Talk Sport. Spain against Germany coming up at 7 o'clock. And don't forget Talk Sport Breakfast with Laura Woods and Ali McCoist. Rick Astley among their guests from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And there is more discussion here live from Qatar with White and Jordan from 10 o'clock. And among their guests, an exclusive interview with the head of the Qatari World Cup, Hassan Al Thawadi. All the big names talk to White and Jordan.
That's a curveball, Rick Astley. Where's that come from? On the breakfast show tomorrow.
I look to our production team, and I'm sure they will come up with an answer very soon. Big name.
Yeah, he knows the rules. And so do I.
Dear oh dear. It's a good job that karaoke is not a thing here in Qatar, as Petkovic comes forward again now, and the low shot is a precision effort from Orsic on the edge of the area, but it's gathered by Boyan. Canada look to try and break again, and they have not stopped working, not stopped running in this game. Alphonso Davies has been central to that as Kone brings it over the halfway line. Both coaches remain very agitated inside the technical area. It will be interesting to see if there'll be a warm handshake at the end of this game. Maybe not. Or maybe they'll let bygones be bygones.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have gone on camera and said he'll regret that bit, but what he said to the huddle, that's just normal football management. He's not tried to offend anybody there. He wouldn't have cared who they were playing. He was just driving his team on.
A minimum of 6 added minutes here as Davies comes forward again, wide towards Johnston. His cross into the penalty area over the head of Buchanan, and Croatia are able to clear. Maya with the header forward now, and players been brought back though for an earlier foul by Vitoria. Just nudging Petkovic in the back, and it will be a free kick for Croatia. Let's go back to Portman Road. Half-time in the FA Cup at Ian Stringer.
Half-time, Ipswich 2, Buxton 0. Chaplin in the 32nd with a 10-yard neat finish into the bottom corner, and a Hadmi with his first goal for the Tractor Boys in the 38th. Didn't know a great deal about it. Ipswich are cruising. Buxton manager Jamie Vermiglo is probably going to have to tell his players, I'm afraid, that he's never going to give them up. Half-time, Ipswich 2, Buxton 0.
He was in charge of
Shorty
a couple of years ago in the FA Cup. Yeah, I know.
He's only got 2 songs, that's the trouble.
I think that's a bit harsh. Well, and I'm sure if you tune in to TalkSport Breakfast tomorrow, he will rebut the allegations made by Dean Saunders. And you can also hear tomorrow on the Breakfast Show Gabby Ogbonlahor interviewing Jack Grealish in the build-up to the game coming up, England against Wales. And you can also hear some of that before the Spain-Germany game today. Gabby in conversation with Jack.
2 good Villa players. Done well for the club over the years.
Absolutely. And I think, judging by the photos that have been floating around on our WhatsApp group, that Jack Grealish was as equally excited to meet Gabby again as vice versa. So it should be a good interview to listen to coming up.
Riding a camel yesterday.
Who, Jack Grealish?
Gabby.
Yes.
Sitting on a camel, I've seen him.
Feel sorry for the camel. High cross into the penalty area, and the low shot is eventually driven in, but it's deflected away. It was Junior Hoylett with the effort for Canada. Ball back into the penalty area now. Gvardiol with the clearance, but Canada keeping things going. Hoylett with the volley, it's just wide. And a goal then would have given them some hope.
Yeah, all of a sudden, if that goes in, 3-2, few minutes left, you start thinking, why have I took the best players off? So unlucky Hoylett there. He's got a thigh volley from the edge of the box, just dragged it just wide. He's done well since he's come on, Junior Hoylett.
But Canada are about to become the second team out of the World Cup following 2 games, but you have to say they will have gone out in a very different manner to Qatar. They've been involved in both of their games. They should have taken the lead against Belgium, missed the penalty. They took the lead in this game thanks to Alphonso Davies, but just unable to hold on. But they're finishing this game on the attack. Osorio wide to the far side, the cross high to the far post. Buchanan will nod it back into the 6-yard area where it's swept away by Gvardiol. But they are vulnerable on the breakaway now. But there's a mistake by Miller, and here is an opportunity for Croatia to get their 4th goal, and it's Orsic who has cleaned through, and he plays it square, and it's lofted high into the net by Lovro Majer, and Croatia have their 4th goal. It is very harsh on Canada, but Croatia have really come to the party in the second half, and that's cruel for the Canadians. But one mistake left them wide open. Orsic was unselfish. Majer has a World Cup goal. Canada heading out, but Croatia looking good before a massive game coming up against the Belgians.
Well, it's a horror mistake from Miller, and I feel sorry for him because he's trying his best, but the ball's just flicked into the channel. He's got one either side of him, and the ball skids through his legs. He's trying to chest it or knee it down, but it's gone through his legs. They're left with a 2v1 on the goalkeeper. Orsic took the ball up to the goalkeeper, up to the goal, waited for the right time, squares it for Majer, tap in. Another mistake though.
Only the second time Croatia have scored 4 goals in a World Cup game. Beat Cameroon 4-0 back in 2014 when Mario Mandzukic scored a couple of goals, but it's harsh on Canada, but the quality of the finishing for the first 3 goals just highlighted that Croatia could still be a team to watch in this tournament.
Well, Kramaric, you get a centre forward like that. I've managed football teams, and his centre forward can paper over all he cracks by just at the right time, at certain parts of the game, they turn nothing into a goal. That's why they're out there, that's why you've got to pay money for them. And for all the cracks Croatia have got, he's just gone bang, 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 and then they're playing with confidence.
There is a free kick for Canada. And amidst all the World Cup action, and of course we have 4 big games coming up tomorrow, 10 a.m, Cameroon against Serbia, South Korea against Ghana at 1 o'clock, Brazil against Switzerland at 4, and Portugal against Uruguay at 7. The FA Cup third round draw also takes place at 7 o'clock tomorrow. We'll have news of that during all of our World Cup action here on TalkSport. Tuesday night, England against Wales. Both teams still need something to get where they want to in this World Cup, as Canada are having to defend desperately once again, but the low ball into the penalty area is diverted behind by Kamal Miller, and that's the full-time whistle, and Croatia win by 4 goals to 1, and they will believe it is lift-off for them at the 2022 World Cup. But John Herdman and Canada lose back-to-back games, and they are the second team whose elimination has been assured. They took the lead, they were scintillating at times in the first half, but Croatia began to look like the class of 2018 at times, and they are deserved victors. And Croatia against Belgium will be one of the matches to watch in the third round of group games. Full time, Croatia 4, Canada 1.
Nige, thank you.